Good evening, friends, and welcome. It's Lisa Maynard, and this is Kit Crush Wednesday. Hello. We are going to look at the September paper pumpkin kit tonight. Now, if you're not a subscriber, you're not going to be able to get this unless you subscribe, and you may be able to go back and get the kit that's already been released. But I still want to go ahead and show you these cards because they're really, really cool. And also, they coordinate with the Autumn Toile. I think that's a Toile, Autumn Toile suite that I've posted some cards previously on my Instagram and Facebook. So these kind of coordinate with that. So really fun, really cool cards. And so we're going to go ahead and get started right away. I'm going to flip this around, but what's going to happen is, hold on. Let's go here, and that is going to be sideways. So bear with me for a moment. You're going to see a really messy craft room, and then we're going to turn it, and we should be back in business so that you can see these. So this was recorded. This was recorded, but as I'm doing it, it's live. So I was going to be gone for a few weeks. I'm still gone. So, but I didn't want you to miss out on seeing these kits. So I've pre-recorded it. So it's live as you're watching it, but it's pre-recorded. So don't let that stop you from going ahead and leaving a comment, hitting that like button, sharing it with your friends, those sorts of things. So, okay, here we go. These are the cards of the September kit. I'm going to have to look because I can't remember the name of it. Fall of Toile. I don't know how you say it. It's Toile. In any event, here are the cards, and they are very, very pretty. This paper, the envelopes and the cards coordinate with the DSP from this suite, and they're really, really pretty. So here we've got a thankful card with coordinating envelope. And then we've got another one here. We're going to do some stamping on this card base because all of these leaves are stamped in the background here. And so, and another coordinating envelope with some nice ribbon wishing you the happiest today. And then the final card, thinking of you. And we've got a cute little fox and some pumpkins here. And yeah, okay. And we've stamped some geese up on the top there. So again, this paper is in the suite and also coordinates well with the envelope. So I'm going to go ahead and set these aside. We're going to go ahead and bring in the kit to show you what's all included very quickly, and then we're going to get to making these cards. So we have our Stampin' Dimensionals. There's a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals that go into this kit. We have our stamps. I already have some of them already on some blocks. So these are part of the stamps. The rest of them are on blocks. We have our stamp spot, which is the Cajun Craze this month. There with this kit, very, very cool. We don't have a block because if you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you get a block with your first kit. And then after that, you should just keep the block because you're going to need it after that. So we've also got the insert with all the names of the stamps, and it coordinates with those stamps. If you can see that, they match up. And also, as you can see, these ones are missing. So those are the ones I have on the block. We've got some ribbon here, which we're going to use. The die cut pieces. Oh, the fox is falling out. Die cut pieces. A layering piece here. A couple layering pieces. This one. Some foil leaves. They're kind of a bronzy color. The sentiment pieces, and underneath it we've got our card bases and the envelope. So I'm going to slide those all back in there just like that, and that, and these, and we're going to get working on putting this kit together. This is a super, super fun kit to put together. There's lots of dimensionals, lots of fun things. Now, as always, I've prepped part of this for you already so that we don't spend a lot of time going through all of that. Some of what we're going to stamp on tonight, but a lot of it I've done for you. So we're going to burnish that card base just like we usually do. The thankful is already pre-printed for you, and I stamped the acorns on this little circular piece. So that is what you would stamp for this card, but I've already pre-done that because we're going to take some time to do some other types of stamping. Now, I've already put the Stampin' Dimensionals on this one. As you can see, there's a lot of them. So we're going to go ahead and take the backings off of this, and this is the first part of the card that we're going to put down. Because they're mini Stampin' Dimensionals, they need a lot on this one, and for some reason the backings on these seem to be just a little more difficult to take off sometimes. I'm not really sure why, but they do. If you're wondering if you have the backing off of the Stampin' Dimensionals or not, a good way to tell is they're super shiny and the backing is off, and when the backing is on, they're not as shiny. So I believe, or you could touch them, but you don't want to unstick them too much. So we're going to go ahead and place this, basically centering it top and bottom, left and right. And we're going to go ahead and put that on and just give it a nice little press. And all those dimensionals are going to hold up that part very, very well. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and put our thankful sentiment on there, and I'm just going to take the backings off of these again. The Stampin' Dimensionals are awesome. We're going to place this right about here on our card, right about like so. I want it right about there. And now on the back of this, I've got two Stampin' Dimensionals and a mini glue dot. So I'm going to go ahead and take that off, because that part of the acorn piece is going to set on this part, which we've already popped up. So we don't want another dimensional because it would make it uneven and too high. So two of these, and you'll understand in a minute. So I'm going to flip it over. These two are going to go right here. And that mini glue dot is going to go right on this piece, and that holds it on there. So there's our first card, Thankful. Very fun, super easy, and very quick to make. Let's move on. This is the one. Actually, I'm going to do this one next because the other one is quite a bit of stamping, and we'll save that for last. So on this card, we are going to stamp two things. We're going to stamp the geese in the background, and we are going to stamp the sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Cajun Craze, because I'm going to just use my full strength pad here, my full size one, bring that in and grab my two stamps that I need. The first one is the geese. So we're going to ink that up just ever so lightly and make sure that I have the geese flying the right way. Make sure you have them flying the correct way. And this is going to get stamped right up in the right top corner of that card, right like that. Perfect. And then we're going to bring in the sentiment for this card. And this is thinking of you. Now, I've already placed this stamp on the block. But usually what I do is I line this stamp up with the grids on my glass mat. And then I take the block and adhere it to the stamp and pick it up. And so that makes makes me quite confident that I have it as straight as I could possibly get it. So I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to come in here and hopefully not get my head away. Stamp our sentiment, let that sit there a little bit so the ink soaks in, and then we have our sentiment, thinking of you. Now, so I don't get my hands in this, I'm going to close that up for right now because we're done stamping on this particular card right at the moment. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this over, and we're going to burnish this card base so it stays nice and flat. Now, since we stamped these, I need to put some Stampin' Dimensionals on the pieces that I stamped, because I didn't want to do that beforehand. Obviously, we're stamping, so we don't want an uneven surface when we're doing that. So bear with me as we get quite a few on here. Those little minis like to stick together. And we want to we want to put quite a few on here so that it stays sturdy, and that center doesn't fall down on us on our card. And we're going to follow the directions on this, and it says to put 4 on here. So we're going to go ahead and put 4 on that. Put that over there for now. Bring this in and make sure those are all on there. Good. Sometimes I press them down to make sure they're adhered before I start to take the back off, or it seems that sometimes when I'm lifting the back off, I'm actually lifting the entire Stampin' Dimensional off the card, and I don't want to do that. So just give them a little press to make sure they're down. And yep, I've got them all off of there. So we are going to, again, we're going to center this on our card, top and bottom, right to left, as best we can. And we're going to give that a nice little press, just like that. We stamped our sentiment. We did that just a few minutes ago, taking the backing off of these. Like I said, there's lots of Stampin' Dimensionals in this kit and with these cards, so you're going to have those little backings all over the place. Let's put our sentiment right about, and we're going to have it off the edge of that layering piece just a bit. And right there, it just draws your eye to that. Let's add our cute little pumpkins. Cute, cute little pumpkins. Those off, and they're going to go over here about right in this area like so. And then our wonderful little red fox is going to go in this cornfield as well. And we're going to place him right about there. And there we have it, our second card, Thinking of You. Isn't that beautiful? Super, super cool, and just a great card for fall. Now, this card, I've got parts and pieces already assembled, but we're going to do some stamping on this. So what I'm going to do for this is we're going to bring in some paper. This is just a small piece of the graph paper. Let me put these up here for right now. Let's scoot those out of the way. And I'll show you how we did that ribbon, and we've got the leaves. And then I'm going to bring in another piece of paper. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because we're going to stamp some leaves images on this part of the card. I don't want to fold it because it makes it fairly thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scratch piece of paper and I'm going to put it right here. Let me fix this a little bit. I'm going to put it right here, about right like so, and I'm going to bring it to the edge of that. I'm going to bring it to that score line so that when I do that, I can stamp on the front of this card base without it being super thick. And then I'm not going to get any on the back. So we are going to go ahead and get our images here. Now, they showed you in your instructions to put the 2 leaves on the same stamp block. So that is what we did. And the reason is it just, for one, it just goes a lot faster. And secondly, it leaves a really nice pattern. So we're going to go ahead and stamp the background of this. And you're going to want to do it fairly randomly and all the way around the card edges. And as you can see, I'm just turning it as I go and stamping the images fairly randomly all the way around, inking up every time so I get quite a bit of ink. Well, I want to ink up every time so I get that on my stamps as I go around and stamp the edge of this card. And the reason we're doing this is because we're creating basically there we go. I think that's pretty good. We're creating a border for our sentiment and leaves we're creating a border for the centers and leaves on this card. So we've done that. And let's get that out of the way. So I'm going to get my hand in it. Now we're going to go ahead and burnish this card base and flip that baby over. And now we're ready to adhere. Let me go ahead and get this out of the way so that's not distracting. Now we're going to go ahead and adhere our layering pieces. So what I want to do first is I put Stampin' Dimensionals on the backs of these 2 leaf pieces. Now, if you'll notice, there's a different amount on each leaf piece. This piece with the orange, the more orange leaves in it, the bigger orange leaves, I should say, I've put only 3 on it. This is the piece you're going to put down first. So that's why there's only 3, and they're fairly close to the bottom. And this piece is going to go, let me take a gander at my finished product so I can kind of see. Yes, this piece is going to go like this. So the big part is going to go towards the center of that open space. Now on the yellow one, I've put more Stampin' Dimensionals. There's 4, and they're closer to the top because this piece is going to layer over the one I just adhered to the card base, and we don't want those dimensionals to be in the way. Now I think I've got all those off of there. Get them gone. And so this is going to go somewhat like this. And so as you can see, those layered on top of each other, and I didn't want the dimensionals to be in the way. And see how nice of a border that all created around there? Now we're going to go ahead and add some of these foil leaves, and we're going to stick these in. Now I put the dimensionals near the top, and the reason I did that is because you're going to want to slide a little bit, slide the bottom of that leaf under some of these other pieces, and it just hides the stem of that a little bit. So if you put the dimensionals near the top, then you can slide this little stem where you want it, and then adhere your foil leaf to your project. And I'm going to get these off. And for some reason, when I'm concentrating on some of this, I cannot layer and talk and all the things at the same time. But there we go. Isn't that just, it's just super pretty. I'm not really crazy about how I put that one. So we're going to move it over just a little bit. Let's stick that right about there instead. I like that better. There. This just gives a little more dimension that way. Okay, now here is what you need to know about the ribbon. In your directions, it tells you to fold it over and to adhere onto the back of it 4 mini glue dots. Then on the other side, it tells you to adhere 1 here. So the reason for that is this is going to get added to your sentiment, and then it's going to get added to your card. But what I did first is on the inside, I put in a little mini glue dot so that this would hold together a little bit better as we're working with it. So I'm going to go ahead and fold that over and give it a nice little press. And then it's going to stay together while I take the backings off of these. You could do that before you even put these mini glue dots on. If you're working with seal or anything like that, seal would work great, Stampin' Seal for this. But I went ahead and followed the directions and used the glue dots. Now, I've already prepped the back of this so I wouldn't have to take your time. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to figure out where you want this to come on your sentiment, and then you're going to want to adhere that accordingly. And I did this earlier, like I said, so I knew where I wanted that to go. And it's going to go right there. So I've already added my glue dots to the back of this. So let's go ahead and take these off. Like so and such. And then this is the last part of this card, is we're going to put our sentiment on those leaves that we layered. And this is going to go kind of in the center of that, just like that. And there you have Wishing you the happiest of days. That's not quite there. That's better. That's more, that's straighter than it was. There. Wishing you the happiest of days. So we've done all 3 cards. This one, the thinking of you, and the thankful card. These are wonderful, wonderful cards in this paper pumpkin kit. And let me bring back in the other cards and the envelopes as well, so you can get a look at them again. And I just absolutely love, love, love the fall colors of this. If you would like to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, I'll put a link in the comments so you can start getting these kits. They come once a month, and there's always a different theme. Sometimes they're cards, sometimes they're projects, and it's just a great surprise that you get in the mail. You get a little teaser of them, but you don't know 100%, and neither do we as demonstrators know 100% what they're going to be when we get them. So that's kind of fun. Before I close up, when I turn this camera around, I'm going to be sideways. So I'm going to actually close right now a little bit. So thank you for joining me. I truly, truly appreciate it. Like I said, I'll put the link to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin in the comments. Again, this is recorded. It's kind of going to be live, but it's obviously going to be recorded. So don't hesitate, and don't let that stop you from commenting, hitting the like button, watching the replay, sharing it with your friends. All of those things that you do helps me to help you to bring more things to you. So with that, I'm going to turn this around, and I'm going to be sideways. Yeah, I am. I'm sideways. I'm sideways. So I'm not going to fix that right now because you'll get vertigo or something crazy. So thank you for joining me tonight. As always, I'll be back next week with another Kit Crush Wednesday. And until then, have a wonderful week, friends, and happy stamping. Bye.